Hello, I hope this video finds you well. Today I would like to talk to you about the evolutionary tree of plants and where different groups of plants will fall on that tree. When you are done with this video, you will be able to identify plants by their position on the evolutionary tree simply by cataloging their traits. You will also be able to identify if any plants in your area are oddities to evolution and perhaps might even falsify the theory of evolution if they have mixed traits from different families. So, without further ado, the plants that you see before you are arranged by their families, by their branches on the evolutionary tree. The odd one out in this arrangement is this right here, the fern. It does have close relatives, and all those relatives are other ferns. Over here, it doesn't. It's the least related to any of these that there are. This plant does not produce flowers. It doesn't even produce seeds. It produces spores. It separated from these millions of years ago, very early in the history of plant evolution. The next odds one out in this group are the conifers. They do not produce flowers in the sense that these other ones produce flowers. They have an unusual leaf structure. Now the conifers are interesting. They are one of the first major plant families to have produced trees, and we still see some of their trees today. There were some other plant families that produced trees before them that produced spores that were related to the ferns, and today you might find their relatives, modern horsetails, or we call them horsetails, growing in some sandy or semi-moist area. But those trees are no longer with us. So the oldest trees that we have, the oldest family of trees that we have, are the conifers. Today, many of the trees that we see now are in this family, particularly this side of the family. And this flower I got here, I got from a small tree. We also see some trees in this family, such as palm trees and bamboo, but I cannot think of any examples I will find in my part of the world of palm trees or bamboo. So, these plants right here are all part of one family, which I should have looked this up before I made the video, but I think these are called the Angiosperms, or the flowering plants. I could be wrong. This could also be an angiosperm. I'm not sure. But you can be a better man than me and look it up yourself. Sorry. So, this family of plants as far as I know, can be broken up into two major groups, though I think that there has been some modification to it in modern times that maybe something to do with water lilies. I'm not sure. But I will just introduce you to some of the basics right now. So, the two groups of this family, which branched from each other, well, these started to evolve flowers during the age of the dinosaurs and have since branched into two major groups. The one group are the monocots, which includes grasses and palm trees and daylilies and a few other plants. And the other group are the dicots, that include most flowering plants. The monocots and the dicots are quite easy to distinguish from each other based on the structure of their seeds. Now, cot, in a sense, refers to the food storage structure of a seed. And mono means whether it has one unit or di, 2 units. You can tell if something is a monocot or a dicot, but if you take the seeds apart. If you take apart a kernel of corn, you'll only find one cotyledon. And in a peanut, you will find 2. The peanut would be in this family, the legumes, though I do not have any peanut flowers in this part of the world. Now, another way to tell a monocot plant or a dicot plant apart is by its root structure. The dicots tend to have a taproot, a long root that goes down, whereas monocots tend to have sprawling roots that tend to travel along just under the surface of the soil, though I only brought one root with me. The leaf structure of the monocots tends to be long straight leaves with parallel veins running in them, whereas the leaf structure of dicots tend to have veins that branch out, making the leaves wider, such as is the case with this nannyberry leaf, this blackberry leaf, or this, is this a strawberry? Yes, this is a strawberry. Should go with this strawberry here. These other plants, their leaves are like that, but it's not as obvious. Oh, especially these radish leaves. One of the most striking ways to tell a monocot and a diacot apart are by the flower structure. Now this strawberry in this plant, it sort of looks like a strawberry and is probably related to it. And this buttercup, the nanny berries, and the blackberries, they all have 5 petals. It's hard to count on these legumes here, the sweet pea, the lupin, and the clover. I think that they tend to have, they have 5 petals each, but their petals are tightly bound together. They all have 5 petals, which is, if you find a flower with 5 petals, I guarantee you it will be a dicot. And if you find it isn't a dicot, let me know. This radish has 4 petals. It is also a dicot. And this flower, this plant has 10 petals, which is a multiple of 5. So if the plant has a multiple of 5 or a multiple of 4, dicot. The oddity of this group are these daisies. I counted out their petals earlier, and they each have a different number, which is approximately 20. None of them have exactly 20. So they're an oddity of evolution, but everything else about them is dicot as far as I know. I could be wrong. Maybe scientists have worked out something else that I'm not quite aware of. Now, the monocots. They have the grasses, which I'm not quite sure if grasses have petals at all. And they have this plant, which I will have to get a picture of it when the sun is out. It has 6 petals. And I've seen plants with only 3 petals that probably resemble these. Daylilies have 6 petals. If you find a plant with a multiple of 3 petals, then I bet you it will be in this group. And if not, if it's got leaves like this or a long taproot, then get a hold of me. Show me something that doesn't make evolutionary sense. So that's what I have to show you for today. If you find something with 5 or 4 petals, it will have wide leaves, it will have a taproot or something quite similar to a taproot. If you find something with long, narrow leaves that is flowering, it'll have 3 petals. If you find these, well, I didn't really talk about them today. But you will not find traits like this. You will not find flowers on ferns at all. You will not find this kind of flower, or even a grass flower, or a lily-like flower on a conifer. And if you do, show it to every scientist in the world. Suggest to them that it defies evolution. We'll see if it does. Thank you.